this. Welcome, 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 I say, to Wednesday's Internet Phone-In. Lovely to be with you. And a big dinky-do from me, Scottie McCLUE. They are fantastic. Lovely to have you with us, of course, and I hope you are well and that we can do business for the start of this evening. Now, this is just our third phone-in at this time, so fantastic stuff. The new time of 8 o'clock. Fantastic. Do come and join us. We'll check that the phones are in business, of course, and then you can give us a wee ring. There we are. Everything should be working now. That is fantastic. Right, let's just see if we can get the telephone number to you. There we are. Tremendous stuff. Excellent. 0141 628 9795. 0141 628 9795. To the telephones as quickly as we possibly can. Lots to talk about. And as always, so little time to do it and wonderful stuff. Scottie McCLUE, hashtag FloatI, First Lord of the Internet. All in uppercase, of course. And this is the Internet Phone-In. Not too difficult there, nothing too complicated. So give us a call as soon as you possibly can and we will get started. You'll see the number there across the bottom of your screens, 0141 628 9795. 0141 628 9795. Give us a call on that number and we'll get you on as soon as we possibly can. Who's this? Hello, you're live on Scottie's Phone-In. Hello? There we are. Right, obviously. Not coming on that one. There we are. Fair enough. There's no obligation, I always say. Tremendous stuff. Now, lots and lots to talk about tonight and so little time to do it. And as I say, the time passes at a terrific rate. And before we know where we are, it's 9 o'clock and time to dash off. I can't believe it. Now, I'm getting no end of compliments about the quality of the last two nights' phone-ins, especially last night and the night before in two parts. So there you are. How amazing is that? Pardon me, I beg your pardon. Now then, what's happening here? Let's just see what you're all saying with the chit-chat. There we are. Evening, Scottie. DINKY-DOO, says Misanthrope. Excellent stuff. Thank you very much. Patricia, I don't really know what that means, so we'll just take that out, I think, if you don't mind. Fantastic. It doesn't really mean anything to me. All right, so there we have it. Don't know what Patricia's trying to say. There we go. Wonderful. Right, that should be that. As I say, do give us a call. You've got the number there, and we can get started. It's as simple as that. I'll just check the telephones again because that sounded a bit strange at the start there. Very, very weird. Wonderful. Right, I've just sent Patricia out there because it wasn't making any sense. You're live with Scottie's Phone-In. Who's that?
Hello, Scotland. It's Martin.
Martin, how are you tonight?
You look lovely in your very cold jacket.
I've put on my big jacket tonight, yes, because it's quite cold in the studio.
You should wear the Glengarry as well to make it even better.
Put the Glengarry on with it. Well, I might just do that now that you mention it.
You should put it on because I really like it.
I know you're a fan of the Glengarry. Now then, what's happening in the real world?
It's very, very cold, and it's less than the week until Christmas.
Yes.
And the markets are still surviving now. Edinburgh and Glasgow still surviving.
Good stuff. We out at that. Do you dress up nice and warm, Martin?
Yeah, I always go out wearing my scarf on, my hat, my gloves when I go out every day.
Right. Do you wear your big boots?
I'll wear welly boots sometimes when it's snowing, but I've got boots to wear, so...
There's Joseph asking, what about the TikTokers? We forgot the poor old TikTokers tonight.
What's the topic tonight?
Pardon me, we'd better get them with us, I think. Fantastic stuff. The topic tonight is, do we think that we're being quite ambitious with the programs for making sure everybody gets vaxxed.
Yes.
You know, that was what I was thinking. I thought this is very ambitious.
So have you had your booster yet? Have you still got 2 jabs to get?
All that. So, well, I don't go into all these things, Martin, because we don't actually discuss individual cases.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, So
that's like me saying, have you had your appendix out, you know?
Oh, God, no. So, I've been watching a lot more Take the High Road, so I'm on 290 now so far. So.
Wow, that's it. How many have they got, Martin? Did you by any chance manage to get a note?
I think they've got about 1,000 on their channel, but they're busy uploading them every day, every so often. So
right.
I'm downloading them onto the laptop, and I'm still doing your phone in the laptop as well. So.
Yes, how are you getting on with the calls? Are you sounding good in these calls?
Yes, I'm sounding really, really good.
Excellent.
But I still watch all the ones that go right back, the ones when Matey Boy called you thick and all that, and you said down the Swanee.
Down the Swanee with Matey Boy. Actually, we haven't heard from Matey Boy for some time.
I know, so I hope Matey Boy's okay.
I do hope he's okay. I'm just going to get the TikTokers to come and join us now. That's good.
Yes,
So there you are. The TikTokers will be joining us right now. How about that?
Yes. So you'll be doing a Christmas thing next Saturday night.
Well, we'll need to work out what suits and what time suits. I mean, we might just stick to our normal time.
Well, 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Aye.
Because by that stage, everybody will have opened the presents and they'll have watched the tiny bit of half-decent telly, and they'll have watched the Queen's speech. Everybody watches that. And they'll be ready for a good dose of McCLUE.
Yes. So what are you doing on Christmas Day? Are you doing anything? Are you going to stay at home or go to family?
Well, we'll see what happens on the day.
Yes.
Yes.
At the moment, there's no snow down.
We've not to have too big a gathering, I believe.
I know. I've just found that out today.
And we've to meet outside if we can and talk through the window and all that kind of stuff.
So are you still wearing your mask and that? Yeah.
Well, of course.
Yeah, same.
Absolutely, yes, indeed, everything. Yes, I've done all the stuff from the start. The isolation, the social distancing, the masks on, the nipping to the local shop very quickly with a mask on. Yeah. Masks on all day from dawn till dusk.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really do any more to protect the NHS.
But it's getting colder at the moment, quite cold.
Oh, it's cold tonight, Martin. I don't know about you, but I was quite shivery. That's why I thought I'll just pop my big jacket on.
Mm-hmm. So do not forget to put your Gary hat for me.
Yes, I don't know where it is. That's the only problem.
Yeah,
And it's quite difficult to go and get something once you start broadcasting.
I know.
Because you have to leave the people in charge.
Yeah. So I am looking forward to my Christmas dinner when I get up and running as well.
Lovely. Lovely to hear you, Martin, and you have a super evening, and we will catch up tomorrow.
Yes, you will. Love you lots.
Love you lots, Dinky-Doo. There we are. That's our Martin on for the chit-chat. There we are. The TikTokers should be in business. Good evening, Scottie, says Angela. Good evening, Angela. Lovely to have you with us. And Dinky-Doo. Dinky-Doo, says Joey. Dinky-Doo, Joey on the TikTok. Pardon me. Now then, who have we got here? Yeah, good evening, everybody. Welcome from Scottie McCLUE. I was thinking the same thing, Jimmy. Sometimes there's a delay. Yes, indeed. And what I was going to say, all the YouTubers, have you subscribed? Now, have you actually done it? Or do you go, yeah. Oh. Actually do it. Just click subscribe. It's so strange. You know, you've got all these people watching. Same in the TikTok, 18,000 people following. About 800,000 have seen it. I don't understand people at all. If it was me, if I was getting Scottie McCLUE Absolutely free, gratis, and for nothing. The least I could do is subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow Scottie McCLUE on TikTok because it's free. Isn't that brilliant? Wonderful stuff. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lots to discuss tonight and so little time to do it in. Now, if you're watching in America or Canada, it would be lovely if you could check your phone package and give us a call. Dodsey has sent me red roses. The microphone, that's a good one. Isn't that beautiful? There we are. Thank you so much for your gifts. I'm on here now, says Angela. Angela, you're amazing. You can get everywhere. I'm back, says Alien. Good, Alien. Good to have you with us. And welcome back. I say you're watching Scottie McCLUE. And this is the internet phone-in. Now then, hello, handsome young man, Scottie. Dodsey, you're very, very, very kind, I say. Thank you for my 3 beautiful red roses. They've just popped up. Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome. Lovely to have you all with us. Excellent stuff. Now then, David says, I've got the TikTok on the now. You should be on LBC. Do you know, I think Scottie McCLUE would be massive on LBC because we wouldn't put up with any nonsense. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what you need for a talk show. And I think that the people at these radio stations should have a listen to our shows from the night. Fantastic. What does DINKY-DOO mean? F document. DINKY-DOO means is all well with you and the world. That's what that means. You look at cozy, Scottie. Are you feeling okay? I'm fine, Scottie. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. All them layers. Yes. It's very cold in the studio tonight. So there, do you not hear my voice going a bit funny? Hello, you're live with Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
It's the one and only Pablo.
Pablo! How are you doing, La?
DINKY-DOO, I'm doing DINKY-DOO.
Excellent. Lovely to be with you, DINKY-DOO.
That's great. Are you okay, mate?
I'm fine, absolutely. Have you got the cold, Scottie? No, not really. I've just got a wee bit of a rough throat from talking too much, I think. Surprise, surprise.
The old vocal cords.
Yeah, well, if you think, we're doing 8 hours live, 6 hours live, and then all the different lives and stuff like that we pop up on.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a big ask sometimes of your voice.
Yeah.
Especially when I've been using my voice professionally now for 45 years.
Yeah. You probably run into the same thing singers do when they use a voice too much. You need resting, don't it, Scottie? Sometimes.
You have to give it a bit of a rest. I mean, I think some people wish I would.
No, Scottie, we want more. We want more. We want 2 hours during the week, and then we want one on a Sunday. We'll let you do 1 hour.
Isn't that wonderful? So there you are. Fantastic stuff. Nice one. DINKY-DOO to you, Scottie. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was nice last night hearing one of the lady callers. But Scottie, we need one that reminds me of Amanda. Is she still about?
Wonderful stuff. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Now, what's happening?
Nothing much, really. I just thought I'd phone up because...
That was an excellent call you did last night, by the way.
Do you think?
Yes, although with people complaining with a lady, it's a lady with a Scandinavian-sounding name. She thought calls way too long.
It does happen sometimes, Scottie, but like you say, it's intriguing and interesting. What's the point answering the phone to someone who's just got to say, yeah?
Well, this is it. There isn't really. You need to have a good old discussion and debate, and that's why I love people like yourself and Karim, and Martin and all these people.
Yeah, I'm not being rude, but it's like you're giving them a chance after chance, and they're agreeing with you, but you want something to for them to come back.
Well, you want somebody that thinks, well, I'll tell you where that argument could be flawed. You see? And I do that with the people. I mean, that's really how I've attracted such huge audiences, because I say to the people, I don't think you've thought this through.
That's right. Scottie, back in the day when you used to have the radio, Did you used to see your numbers go up if it was interesting call, and if it was boring, go down, and then know when to cut?
No, you don't have any of that. And what was interesting, some nights I would think that wasn't the best show tonight, and people would say, oh, last night was the best ever.
Right.
And then other nights I thought, now that was a brilliant show. That was just the way radio should be. People say, yeah, I didn't think Monday was so good, Scottie.
Mondays aren't normally, Scottie. I think
no, that I just took that as an example. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Could be Friday.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, as the week goes on, people can bounce off the last show. There might be something else we can touch on. So I think as the week progresses, I think that the show gets not better, but
I think though people that maybe like a refreshment at the weekend, they use a Monday night to recover. They go to their bed. That's what I think.
Scottie, there's stuff back in the media now that we can actually speak about. It's not being as censored as it was in the beginning, which is good because we can actually talk about stuff. But in the beginning, it was almost like, how can a talk show exist when everything's being censored? That was my concern.
Well, it's very difficult. You see, I think what we've ended up with throughout the pandemic is huge appearances from politicians.
Yeah.
So, for instance, tonight we're going to get an address from the First Minister, the Prime Minister, the Chief Medical Officer, all these things. And what we're actually thinking at home is, any chance of some entertainment?
Yeah, I agree with that.
And now it's time for comedy.
Yeah, it's just something to lighten the mood and forget about something. It's like at the moment, everything's being drilled on us, and it's been like that for 2 years.
I mean, it's only the last 2 nights that we've even mentioned pandemic.
Yeah. I think people are using you, Scottie, not using you like as in a bad way, using you like as an escapism, like a lot of like to try to get psychology stuff.
That's the way it should be. They should be able to come on here because there's no agenda. There might be subjects, but there's no agenda. I'm not judging them.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, Scottie, do you think some of the wind-ups were like just wind-ups because people were having jokes, or do you think the mental health played a part as it does today? Do you think that played a part?
No, I think back in the day, things were much simpler, and I don't think that's imagination. And I think things were much simpler. And the reason I don't do sort of big wind-ups now is because people's mental health is fragile.
I agree with that, Scottie, yeah. I agree with that.
You know? And
you don't know which way they're going to take things as well. And even suicide, Scottie, suicide is massive now compared to how it used to be years ago. And even just saying slightly the wrong thing, you don't know how it's ingested, how it's taken.
Yeah, well, you see, we don't want that.
It's a shame, Scottie, because the comical side of you, when you really wound someone up, that Monday call was excellent, Scottie. I did it about 3-4 times in my life, but I can't never stop laughing. When you say, but you can't change him. No, but I want to.
I know, I want to. What a laugh. No, I think that's absolutely right. I mean, these were characters, but you've also got to remember, we were going out to about 5 million people who were aware of the radio station.
Yeah.
Do you see the difference?
You had a mixed audience. You had probably the ones that wanted to listen for a laugh, some comedy.
Well, you people listening for all sorts of reasons and even changing with each call.
That's what I mean. It must be hard to...
And remember that these radio stations had millions and millions of pounds of an advertising budget. We've started on here from absolute scratch. So you're effectively shouting out the window.
You do well, Scottie, at the moment, because when I'm looking back on your videos, they're throwing adverts in between each call. So that says that...
Yes, because this is what they call quality content.
Exactly, Scottie.
We just need more of it, and we need more people coming to join us and putting their input in.
It'd be nice if we get a few more female callers because they have something different. I don't know what it is, but listen to a female voice when you listen to like loads of men talking, it gets a bit boring after a bit. But then it's just that subtle approach, and I don't know, like the mother figure. When I was listening to her talking, I thought if we had a little bit of balance of this would be good. I've asked my partner to ring up. No, I'm not doing it. But I'm going to get...
Yeah, I think there's something a bit strange about people. They think, oh, I can't. You see, they're not even on the radio, so would your partner ring her friend?
Yeah, I don't know, Scotty, because she does suffer with that kind of thing. People, they do have telephone anxiety, don't they, Scotty?
Some people can get a bit shy. Yeah, somebody goes, ring up the company and tell them that, they've sent you the wrong bill. And they go, can you do it?
Well, a lot of people say, yeah, can you do it? Like, for instance, I'd take a lot of phone calls for it, or I'll ring up if we need a repair in the house or whatever. But I've had to just coax her into it. No, you're going to have to try and try. And she's got better over time. That's what these telephone shows do as well, Scotty. People's communication skills have gone right down. This gives them a way of, enhancing the communication skills.
You can come on and have a chat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so anybody who's listening, who's thinking about phoning Scotty, don't just phone and just have a giggle or say, yeah. If you give something Scotty, he'll give it you back, and that'll get your communication skills going better, and it'll come out in the telephone life of yours and in real life. So we're blessed in a way we've got Scotty McCLUE, because when I think, Scotty, I don't mean this in a bad way, but when you're no longer here, your voice is going to be resonating for many years. I don't know what it is, but you have something special when you speak. There's people that speak and they send you to sleep, and you don't listen to it, but there's something great about your voice, and that's why I believe that you was like the voice of radio, Scotty.
Well, that's very kind of you to say so, but I think when I'm not here, you'll find I'll become very famous.
Very famous, Scotty. Everyone will be talking
and people will be going, do you know, is this guy still with us? You say, no, he's long gone. Is it? Oh, his stuff's brilliant, man. I love it. I wish I could have heard it.
Well, Scotty, people are still talking to you about being on the radio. And you was on the radio how long? 25 years? Was it 30 years?
30 years in June.
Right. So take, for example, the shows that used to be on TV where they used to bring people in, and, I'm not going to mention his name, but in 10 years, no one will be speaking about people like that, Scotty. You only speak about great people.
I know. Well, that's very kind of you. Scottie McClue, 1990s radio. I was there, says Carol.
You pioneered it, really, Scotty. All this blogging and vlogging that these YouTubers do now, in a way, you pioneered that, because you started from grassroots on the radio when social media didn't exist, and look at the numbers you got then.
Well, it's very strange going on the first night and talking to people.
Yeah.
The very first night. Now, what's interesting about what we're doing here, 105 shows ago, coming on here, I thought, I doubt anybody will ring on the first night, and as soon as we popped up, somebody phones.
Yeah. Well,
how do you explain that? How do you explain that?
You can't. It's happening now. The minute you come on, I think you have to just keep your phone lines off for the first 5 minutes, because it's that busy now, Scotty. The minute you come live, the phone lines are going mad.
Here's your usual thick idiot. 14 viewers, brilliant. Now there's somebody that is completely clueless about how social media works.
Yeah, they don't know about streaming on multiple.
No, they don't understand anything. Last night's show, 2,500. Once you added up the TikTok and the YouTube and everything else, 2,500 people joined us last night.
That's amazing. That's great. Do you get a lot of? Obviously, I've not got TikTok, but is that when you're getting your main at the moment, or is it?
Well, what happens with TikTok is you'll say you could have, I don't know, 10 or 15 people watching in the little number. And then a few seconds later, they'll go and another 15 will appear, and then another 15, another 15. And then when you look at the end, you might have, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 people have watched you.
It's amazing.
And then say we get another 200 or 300 here. So already, let's say we're attracting 2,000. Let's be conservative with a small c.
Yeah.
And let's say we're attracting 2,000. Now that's brilliant in this day and age with all the media that's around. So if that half-wit there, that 14 viewers brilliant half-wit, actually went on himself, would he get 2,500?
Scotty, it's not easy. It's really not easy.
Now, if I was your local priest and they turned up at my mass, I would be beside myself.
So, Scotty, anyway, before I go, the only anything else to say about what was the topic tonight?
Topic tonight. Well, no, we were just talking about the latest thing. I mean, as I say, we don't really want to go down this route because you get it in the mainstream media.
Yeah.
But I was just saying the latest bit that we've got on the go at the moment. Is it a bit ambitious to think we'll get round every day by January, you know?
No, I think it's too ambitious, and I'll tell you why. People are still waiting, and I know people say the research is here, but I think people are waiting down the line, Scott, especially me, who suffers with allergies and things like that, who's a bit reluctant to just say, come on, jab me, and whatever might happen, might happen. I think these are the people that just want to wait, maybe another year, and see the science.
You see, is it really the job of politicians to be telling people how to live their life?
No, not really. And they're saying that they've got to find another approach now, because it's obviously not working. This fear.
I think they need to stop the fear thing, and they need to stop the nanny thing. Do you know? And say, listen, these facilities are available to you. You know, so you know, press on with it.
And I think the other thing, Scottie, as well, because we've got to bear in mind the children in the high schools, the parents are reluctant to vaccinate the children.
There's Gung calling himself a very funny name. He's calling himself Duff backwards. I think we'll send him down the Swanee. He's obviously an idiot. There we go. Yeah. Bye to the idiot. There he goes down the Swanee. Love it.
Yeah. I think people, especially parents now, because I think the children can get vaccinated from 12 upwards, they're concerned about certain things like apart from the side effects that we know about, we're seeing that potentially you can get this side effect, that. I think the number one side effect that people are scared of, like Scottie, between a certain age, that's 16 to maybe 40, is can this make you sterile? Can they have babies? And I think that's the number one fear factor with young people.
That's an interesting one, isn't it? Yes. And when you say young people, what age group would you say are very fearful of that?
Well, I've spoken to people, so I'd say most 16-year-olds maybe wouldn't be thinking about that. They were probably thinking, listen, I want to go to university, I want to travel the world. To make my life easier, I'll just do it. I think it's the people that are maybe in the 20s, you know, got a job, maybe a partner, a house, thinking about getting married. I think they're the people that have these concerns. You know, what are the side effects going forward? Should my partner get it, and then I wait a bit, and then should I get it, or should we just both get it at the same time?
Yes.
There's a lot of that going on, Scottie. If I get it, will you get it? I think that's what's going on as well.
I know what you mean. Very interesting. Pablo, I'm going to dash off. Lovely to hear you.
DINKY-DOO, Scottie.
DINKY-DOO, la. Fantastic. You're live with Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
About time too.
About time.
I need to have a word with you.
Is that you, Numpty Head?
Yes, it is. Who did you think it was?
What about this? Never mind all that just now. Grumdor says he's willing to pay postage for one of my badges.
Now, listen, I'm busy pressing the off button for my telly.
Right.
It's not working, Scott.
Yeah. What's not working?
It's staying on. Oh, hang on, it's ready. Right, now then.
Right.
I need to have a word with you, Scottie.
What? There's the badge now. Scottie McCLUE, DINKY-DOO.
Aye, right. I've got my bonnet on too, Scottie.
I have got my big jacket on the night.
Oh, I can. You must be cold in the
it's cold in the studio the night.
Is your lecky bill being cut off?
I'll maybe have to shut the window.
Aye. What's Johnson doing? He's not putting the wood in the fire.
Johnson's no bit up. He's still isolating.
Aye, so he's no made your tea.
He's no made my tea. There's Cian saying, hi, Scottie, how come you changed the phone-in time? Well, Cian, we thought it would suit every day to be 8 o'clock, and it seems to be doing that.
All right. Talking about the chat, Scottie, right? Talking about the chat window, do you think it's right that when I comment on the show, others comment and my comment disappears. But the other comment...
No, wait a minute. Your comment can he disappear?
What?
No, your comment can he disappear?
It does. It goes
No.
out the window.
No, the only person that could make your comment disappear is me, and I wouldn't do that because you're as entitled to your opinion as anyone else.
Now, Scottie, listen. Are you listening, Scottie?
Of course we're listening. Everybody's listening.
Right.
The world is listening.
Thanks a lot. Now then, I'm saying, what it is, Scottie, is when I type something in the window, it disappears away. And it's because it disappears because people are saying, how's your head? Oh, my head's there. Oh, I've got a headache. Oh, I hope you're well in the morning. Oh, aye. And the thing is, all these typos make my comments disappear up the window.
Well, I don't know. The only thing is, I know that not everybody loves your comments because you tend to speak the truth.
I do speak the truth because I'm commenting on the show.
Ken, and sometimes I think what annoys you is when they're just having a chat with each other.
Aye, anyway, Scottie, I need to speak to you about something else.
Right, go.
Did you ken George V?
Yes, of course I can, George V.
Of course you do. The one that died in 1936.
1936. Do you know he didn't quite just die? They euthanized him.
That's right.
They gave him cocaine and morphine to hasten his death.
Aye, and I ken the doctor's name, Dr. Penn.
Aye, that's a long time ago.
Well, Dr. Penn released his memoirs.
Yes.
50 years after he euthanized George VI.
Yes.
Now that's murder, Scottie.
Well, is it, you see, or would it now be assisted dying?
Euthanasia, murder, the law says...
Well, I'll tell you an interesting thing. At what stage, when somebody is absolutely, completely riddled with some serious illness and is completely without hope and is suffering terribly lying in a bed, at what stage does the GP have to say, I think we'll up the dosage?
Well, Scottie.
Because listen, cocaine, and what was the other one?
Morphine.
Right. And how many people have morphine at the end?
Loads.
Right. There you are.
Morphine helps the pain, yes.
Yes. And what do you have to do with your beloved pet when your beloved pet can no longer function?
Scottie, what was the cocaine for? Were they having a party?
Oh, you're terrible. That's no funny.
No,
that's no funny. Sorry, Numpty. That's just no even, that you shouldn't have said that.
All right, then.
Because he was a dear old soul, George V. He was just very confused at the end.
Aye, but what about Prince Edward at the time?
You see, he had lung problems.
No, listen.
George had actually, his son, George VI, the Queen's father, had a lung out. But George V had a huge lung operation.
Aye, but Scottie, there was more going on. There was more going on in that man's life because he was king.
Well, there's always more going on.
Do you know where God Save the King came from?
Yes, George Frederick Handel.
What?
George Frederick Handel.
Oh, you're talking nonsense.
Not at all. He wrote the national anthem.
No, Scottie.
No. The national anthem is George Frederick Handel.
Hey, listen, my telly's been off. I've not seen the show.
Also, Handel's water music.
Aye,
Handel's music for the Royal Fireworks.
Scottie.
Yes?
I need to tell you something, right? The rhymes, God Save the King, came from the doctor. Because he was killing so many men, so they come up with the phrase, God Save the King, because he was the same doctor that done the king.
I think you're talking complete nonsense. Right.
All right then.
We'll just say cheery bye to you. Never heard so much nonsense in all my life. That's Numpty he'd got. Bang on the money. There we are. Fantastic. Now, hold on. There we go. Fantastic. Now then, David, play the goodbye tune on the accordion. Politicians are not trustworthy, says Carol. There we go. Fantastic. Thank you, me, Mrs. Woman, but we're down the Swanee with that idiot. Put the big light on and heat the place up. Fantastic. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Hi, Scottie, it's Kareem.
Ah, Kareem, how lovely to hear you. And you're out and about.
I'm nearly home. Can you hear me okay? I'm in the
Yes.
car driving.
No, it's fantastic. We love it.
Excellent. Excellent. So I've been listening to you for the last 10 minutes in the car.
Wonderful, Kareem. I love this. Now tell me, is it an easy thing to do? Is it an easy operation?
Well, I've got you on YouTube and I just connect it to the Bluetooth in the car and away we go.
See, I think if we could get everybody listening in their cars as well, we would find we'd get the numbers up.
Yes, it's not a difficult thing to do, Scottie.
Wonderful. Did I tell you about that half-witted, sarcastic idiot we've just had to send down the Swanee?
Can you remind me? I knew you said you got rid of somebody there.
Yeah, down the Swanee with them, I say. Anybody that's not with us is a Guinness. I think it was Tony Blair used to say that.
Yes.
And also tell me this, Kareem. If somebody's not a fan of the Scottie McCLUE internet phone in, why are they watching and listening?
Well, if they're not a fan, why are they watching and listening?
That's what I find so strange. I don't go through all the YouTubes and go, nah, I don't like this. Nah, I don't like this.
I find they secretly do like you, Scottie.
And they'll be angry that they've been sent down the Swanee and they've blown it.
Absolutely. You know, yeah, it's their own wee way of trying to get attention.
David reckons that Numpty, he'd said too much of the sauce.
I was thinking that myself with the slurred words.
He said a wee sherry.
Once
Wee
again,
Mrs. Woman.
yes.
Well done, wee Mrs. Woman, and thank you for your defence.
Yes. Well, I've got nothing political or anything to say at all tonight.
Listen, no bother, Kareem, because I'll tell you, we're coming up to Christmas. The politicians, I think, have finished for the season.
Right, okay.
So I think they're off ski.
Right, but the Christmas holidays are now for them.
Yeah, so they'll be away partying.
Well, we should be doing that with other areas within the field. I think tomorrow there's a COBRA meeting.
Ah, right.
With all let's just say all the first ministers of each devolved country.
Yes, and COBRA, of course, covers everything. I think that covers security as well.
Yes, I'll be Boris Johnson. Obviously, will be chairing it, but it'll be interesting to see what comes from it.
Absolutely. Jimmy says they've had their party.
Well, yes, last year, yes.
Absolutely.
But let's see, in terms for funding as well and for people, I'm getting my booster jag. I heard you were speaking about that earlier on. I'm getting my third one this Saturday at 11:30.
Right.
And the ones that I had, I can't remember the full name, but it's the Astra one.
Right. Well, listen, we'll not go into that because, we don't sort of favour one over the other.
Yes. Now, I'm not going to mix and match just for my own safety because I'm just, knowing me, I'll probably get ill.
We don't want that.
I know. But
we do not want you ill, but I'm very anxious. I'm saying to people not to come out with their stuff. Martin was asking questions earlier. I said, no, you don't give your medical history over the air. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Some things are private.
Yes. It's like me saying to him, have you had your appendix out, I think he means it all quite innocently. Do you know what I mean? But that's people's private data.
Yes, absolutely. Well, there's people that would like to steal people's data as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And you have to watch for all of that as well. That's why everything on here is very balanced and very clear.
Yes. Well,
I think, and that's something I think, Scottie, we should mention, because a lot of scams are going on just now.
Yes.
People need to be careful.
They do.
You know, I had obviously I'm not going to name names, but I hired a van and I got the insurance for it and everything was fine. And they said, nope, you won't hear from us again. I took the van back. It was a slight wee bump, no big problems. And I got an email from a company asking questions about it, but they wanted all my details. But at the top of the email, they did not have my name at all. And I thought, this doesn't seem right. So I contacted the car company up and asked them about it. And they said, as far as we're concerned, everything's been paid out.
Yeah.
And the case is now closed. So I thought, well, somebody's obviously got hold of that data and tried to get more
As soon as you get one of these calls, you can either hang up right away, or you can say to them, you keep at them, you don't stop. You say, can you give me the details? You know, that's what you do. Can you give me the details?
Yeah. But it's like one from a famous florist, shall we say, got an email from them, but it actually wasn't from them as well, but it was really looked legitimate. And what I would say is check your app. If you're purchasing stuff, don't go through the direct link they give you. Go to your app if you're buying stuff off these websites, and if your app's working fine, then you'll know it's a scam as well.
Absolutely. Good for you, Kareem. Very much appreciated and lovely to hear you, and safe journey home.
I'll speak to you tomorrow, Scottie.
I look forward to it. Dinky-Doo, sir. There we are. That's our Kareem. That's fantastic. Guys, I think if we can get the internet phone into people's cars, then we are on a winner. We love it. There we go. Everybody's having a laugh here at Numpty Hood. Scottie, have you got your Christmas tree up? There we are. It's a bit soon, is it not? I'll phone you, Scottie. In the 80s, Scottie. Yes, absolutely. Phone us, we Mrs. Women. You've got the number there. Oh, well, you might not have it. 0141 628 9795. Now, there's an idiot. We'll just get rid of him right away. Oh, fantastic. Now, who have we got here? There's Craig just joining us. Dinky-Doo. I've had my tonsils out, says Magnus. Stop. There we are. No medical history. You're live at Scottie's Phone In. Who's that?
Scottie, it's wee Mrs. Women. How are you doing?
Wee Mrs. Women. What a joy and a privilege.
How are you, my love?
I am absolutely stunningly beautiful, as you can see.
Yeah, of course. Are you good? You all ready for your Christmas?
Yes, I am actually. It'll be nice to have a wee holiday.
No Christmas tree, Scottie?
I've been working awfully hard. I haven't got the Christmas tree up yet.
No.
You see, I actually don't believe in artificial trees.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And if you're going to a friend's, they've usually got the tree, you know what I mean?
You can just admire it for their
You can admire their tree, but you know, we used to have trees all the time, always original trees. But see, by this stage in the game, you know, you had the heat on in the winter and all the pine needles fell over the floor.
Yeah, I know. You end up with them up your toes.
Everywhere. Pine needles everywhere. These pine needles.
I've just got an artificial one because it's a wee bit easier. See, trying to get rid of the big real ones after Christmas, a pain in the neck.
That's the problem as well. Yes, absolutely. I don't know what you have to do, if you have to take them to the dump now and things like that.
Need an axe, start cutting up in the garden.
Wonderful stuff. Yes, that's right. And pine is not an easy thing to cut up.
I know, and I don't know how it would be because I've got a parrot and 2 budgies as well, so I don't know how they would be with it.
Oh my goodness me. Well, there is that. You know, they might wonder what's going on. And the decorations, you've got to watch your balls don't fall off. You know, because they can break. They can break. And your chocolate. Do you have your chocolate treats? Do you hang them up?
Oh yes.
Do you remember the old day lights when you had to, every single year you had to fiddle with them?
Yeah, there was always one out.
And then you had to go to a wee electrician shop. Everybody would take your stuff. They'd go like this with your bulbs. Wait, let's see. They'd go like this.
I'm not watching. I'll need to watch you when I come back.
All right. They would look at your bulb and go, no, we've nothing like that at all. No, I don't even know where you'd get that now.
Yeah.
That's a kind of older style that came in from China. And you had all that, right? Thanks very much. I think we've had enough now. We're getting the picture.
You just end up buying a new set.
I end up getting a new set and the rest of it. You say £2.50 for tree lights.
I like my lights to flash. I like flashy lights.
Oh yes, you're quite flashy.
I'm a flasher.
You're a flasher. It's wonderful stuff. I like that. I like when you get them on the outside trees as well.
Yeah. I've got a lot of trees in my garden, and I've never ever put any lights on them.
And have you noticed that, particularly this time of year, it's so dark and it's miserable in the morning, and it's dark and it's miserable when you're coming home from your work.
It's dark by about 4 o'clock now.
You can't see a thing.
Need to eat your carrots, Scottie.
I need to have my carrots, absolutely. It's all that you're trying to say. What's on the front of that bus? And then you could get the bus going the wrong way. You've got to be careful.
Yeah. I don't like public transport's another thing.
That's another thing, isn't it? There's David says, I've got the fibre optic lights, Scottie. They'll be brilliant.
Yeah,
now, you see, that's a difference. We used to have mains lights, but fibre optics, you could probably have a wee battery, I would think.
Yeah, I've got a few batteries as well. I've got things for the window. Got one of these wee village sets.
Lovely.
Not that thrilled.
You see, these are all the advantages.
They're the lasses things, really, aren't they?
Yes, lovely. These are the advantages of modern things. Fantastic. That's a bright idea, says Joey. Very good, Joey. We get it.
Do you think CB's on the way out, Scottie?
Citizens Band Radio.
No, CBs.
CBs.
CDs.
CBs.
Discs. Delta.
Oh, CDs. Sorry, Charlie Deltas. Well, I'll tell you, since you've asked, there's the beautiful Maria Knight sending me absolute fortunes and gifts. There's your CDs.
Oh, lovely. Very generous.
Well, you see, it's because we used to do all these shows. If you added up the value of all these CDs, you'd probably get £2. Stuff comes and goes. Do you remember cassette?
Well, yep.
Do you remember 8-track?
Yeah.
8-track sounded absolutely outstanding. Maria's just sent me 10 Gala signals.
Right.
Isn't that fantastic? Wonderful stuff. 8-track was a terrific thing, and they were quite bulky, but cassette won.
Yep.
And then Betamax video and VHS won.
Remember hubby had the record shops, Scottie?
Yes, he did. So all that stuff, the vinyl, but the vinyl's very popular.
The vinyl's back again.
Because it sounds superb.
That's a terrible cough you've got.
No, it's not too bad. I've had it for 21 years.
Have you?
Yes, since I stopped smoking.
Right. My gran was the same. When she stopped the smoking, she got the...
You stop the smoking, you get the cough.
I stopped smoking.
Angela's shouting Citizens Band Radio here. She misheard like me.
That's mad.
There's David asking, do you remember the dance set record player? Do you remember the dance sets?
No.
No, you'd be too young for that. This was what young people had at parties. And they used to put their EPs on them.
Right.
Yep, and they're 45s. And what you could do, I don't know about the dance set, we had the garage deck where you could sit about half a dozen discs on, and they dropped down when one finished.
Yeah, Mike was telling me about them actually.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm sure he had them for the dances.
And if you ask him about the quality of stereo when it came in, it was outstanding. And you used to have really, really top of the range styli.
I've got a vinyl. I've got a record player there.
Wonderful.
I like the records.
Hello from Barra. We're getting everything here. Record players are expensive these days, the older ones.
They are.
And they used to be very simple. Our first one had valves, and it smelt hot when you switched it on. You had to warm it up.
Really?
Yes. And I can remember when I was at the BBC, I can remember the engineers showing me the equipment, and some of it in those days was about 70 years old. And I said, how come it's in perfect nick? It looks as if it's brand new. They went, that's because we maintain it.
My husband remembers you well, Scottie.
Does he?
Yeah, I remember. He seen you on my phone screen. He said, "Are you watching Scottie McCLUE again?" I said, "Yep."
Yeah, well, I've now look at Scottie McClue. Kareem revealed some very interesting stuff tonight about getting it in the car. Yeah, getting it in the car. The receiving Scottie McClue in the car.
Oh, right.
You're a wee shocker. And there we are. The same as the dance set. You could get 6 or 7 singles at one time, says David.
Scottie's talking about when you could get your 6 and 7 singles at one time. They would just drop down. The stacks.
The stacks. Aye, they would stack up.
Radio Scotland. Mike said he goes as far back as Radio Scotland.
Radio Scotland on the radio, yes, absolutely fantastic. And I'll tell you what else. The BBC asked me one time for a demo, a voice demo, to see if I wanted to be an announcer and newscaster with them. And I said, I'll send you a cassette. You had to fill in a big form. It was a standard civil service black and white form for the BBC. And everybody, right up to the top job, has to fill one of these in. And I had a friend that was interested in a top job at the BBC, but refused to fill in the form. No, on the principle that everybody knew who he was and knew what he was capable of. But I still don't see that. I'm afraid I would just have filled in the form, because sometimes it's easier to go with the flow.
My husband decided to put the volume on the TV there.
Wonderful. Yes, so I said, I'll send you a cassette. They said, no points. We don't have a cassette machine in the building.
No.
And I said to them, but you're the BBC, why not? They went, because cassettes are not deigned to be of broadcast quality for us. Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting.
Because cassettes obviously had, noise and things like that on them, just by dint of what they were.
Yep.
So you can tell if you're listening to cassette, because there's wee squeaks and things like that.
Yeah, it's a bit of distortion.
Yeah, that, and the BBC weren't prepared to have that. Their standards were so high.
That's quite interesting.
Isn't that good? So there you are, never a dull moment. Well, we, Mrs. Woman, I can't thank you enough for your call, because this is gorgeous.
You're very welcome. Thanks for taking me.
And big Mr. Woman, that was great for him to remember all that as well.
Oh, he's got a knowledge beyond that. I don't even know half the things he talks about.
Ask him if he had a magnifier in the shop for checking the vinyl.
Here, I'll put him on, Scottie. You ask him. His name's Mike.
Mike, brilliant.
Hi, Scottie. How are you doing?
Hello, Mike. Have you been thanked for all the wonderful work you do for music?
I don't know if it's thanking I deserve.
Yes, you do, and it's a labour of love, as you know.
Well,
absolutely.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? I was wondering, did you have a big magnifier for checking the vinyl?
I did. Every record that came into the shop, I personally examined under a bright light with a magnifying glass. And those were the days when records sold more than anything else.
Yes. I used to spend my Saturday afternoon in the record shop.
Which shop did you go to?
Well, I won't give it away, but in fact, neither of them are there now. But we used to go through all the stuff. You stood there, and you had it all labeled. You were the same, and you flicked through everything and tried everything, what have you. And I think, did you allow people to sample?
We used to have a bench. People could sit on it with headphones on and listen to the albums before they bought them.
And did you put them on for them so they didn't scratch them?
Absolutely.
Yes. Very important, because we used to, as you know, when I was DJing, we had to queue up the LPs.
Oh yeah.
So you know, just before you were busy talking, and then you'd just switch your mic off for a second. And you go, and you're right. That's me ready to go.
Queuing up.
Yeah, and then you just did your fader start.
I've told my wife many times that there's a customer who used to come in and listen to one side of an LP on the headphones, and while he was doing that, he was eating a packet of chocolate cupcakes.
Oh, right.
And when he got to the end of side one, he used to shout across, "Could we flip the LP over and play the second side?" I'm afraid we threw him out at that point.
Yes, absolutely, quite right. Another dodge which you would be wise to was, I think people would buy an LP and then bring it back to the shop and say it wasn't what they'd thought, and could they get a refund? And they'd actually recorded it.
Absolutely. What they used to do, some of them would say, "It jumps on my record player," and we would test it, and it wouldn't jump. So we would say, "I'm sorry," and they would say, "Well, your equipment's far better than ours." And the other guys would with the opposite. They would say, "Oh, it's not jumping on your record player in the shop, but my equipment is £2,000 worth."
Oh.
So you couldn't really win with them.
Yeah.
And you're right, when blank cassettes came in, that's what they used to do. Take them home, tape them, and bring them back. And they would go around to all the various shops in town. So they would never go to the same shop twice in the 1 week.
But they would get known, because you'd probably find that people like yourself might have had more than one shop.
Yep.
And you say, "Is that wee guy with spiky hair?" Yeah, he was in here about an hour ago.
Yep. We got a lot of that. But when CDs came in, the CDs had virtually no faults at all. Nothing jumped. So instead of saying that there was a fault with their CD, they used to say, "I bought this for my friend, but they've got it already."
That was the one, was it?
That's what they switched to. And we used to say, "Well, just tell your friend to bring both copies in, and we'll fix it. We'll fix them up."
Yes, absolutely. So, I'll
pass you back to my
Mike, lovely to hear you, and thanks for that. Very enlightening.
Anytime. Thank you.
Dinky-Doo, sir. There we are.
Dinky-Doo, Scottie.
That was fantastic, wee Mrs. Woman. He's amazing.
He's very interested.
Very, very educational. That was a brilliant call. The two of you, two for one.
I never know what to say over the phone.
Yes, you do. If you didn't know what to say, then you and I wouldn't be blethering on.
I'll stick to the text chat. I'm better than that.
That's fantastic. Well, listen, thank you so much for your call, and a big Dinky-Doo.
No problem, Scottie. Thank you.
Thank you. Bless you, Angel. Bye. Top lady, wee Mrs. Woman. There we go. Tremendous. I need to go, Scottie. MasterChef finals. Okay, Rumba. I didn't realize you were cooking. There we are. Fantastic. Good night, Jerry. Sleep well. Good night, Susan. Good night, everybody. There we are. Jimmy, talking of tree lights, a debate today on, and he mentions our radio show, that we present presents in newspaper instead of wrapping paper to save the planet. So there you are. What about that, guys? We might discuss that tomorrow. There we are. How can we save the planet? Wrap them up. I don't think enough people buy newspapers now. Guys, we're absolutely out of time. This is Scottie McCLUE saying thank you for watching and dinky-doo.